even if they don't get into jail and they have a misdemeanor. And they're encouraged to plead, otherwise they lose their jobs because they have to keep going back to court all the time and they get fired. And now they have 4 strikes against them. And that's Michelle Alexander's central thesis about, I recommend everybody read the new Jim Crow. She's a brilliant woman. My brother dragged me to hear her at a graduation. It was after graduation. I turned to my wife on the way out the door and I said, you know, I'd vote for that woman if she ran for president. You ought to read this woman's book. It is unbelievable. And it will change my views on drug policy. I'm not for legalizing pot because I don't think it's harmless, but I'm for it because I think it's destroying an entire generation of minority kids in our country. We can't continue to do that for a problem that is where the only victim is essentially the person who's making the bad choices. So that's one of the reasons I like what Jim McGreevy's doing so much. We've got to get these kids, young kids, obviously the better we can do for them before they get into the age where they're going to try stuff and end up doing these things. That's great. But jail cannot be the solution to using drugs. It cannot be the solution to using drugs. I'm not against jailing big-time dealers, but we've got to remember most dealers are actually small-time dealers that are feeding their own habits. So I just think we need an entirely new approach to drugs. I don't think we want to send the message to our kids that drugs are perfectly fine, it's up to you and all this stuff. I do think we need to send a message to society that we are not going to continue to incarcerate huge numbers of people and destroy their entire lives and destroy our own country while we're destroying their lives. And so our drug policy has got to be fundamentally changed.